Hey, hi everyone. So this story is an old one, maybe almost like 13 years back. But I think that the some of the lessons that I have learned from this story, they still stay relevant in today's world. And the story starts with a confusion that I think everyone has. And for me, it was the confusion of a fourth year BTech student not able to figure out what she wants to do in her future. So when I would look at my classmates, most of them were looking for jobs and some of them were thinking about doing MBA. And that somehow was not my path, but I was also not sure what I really wanted to do. So one day I was having this discussion with my dad, and he asked me what I loved doing the most. And I said, you give me a book, you give me a corner, and I am a happy person. So that's all I wanted. I liked reading too much. And in that moment, we decided that probably higher education is the way for me, which not many people choose. So, this was, I would say, lesson number one. When you are sort of contemplating about what career you want to have, maybe the best idea is not to think about the dreams, the fancy cars, or about being world of the best researcher of the world or a Nobel Prize. I think the best way is to think about in your day to day life what is it that you love doing the most and then align your career in that direction. And I'm really not talking about I like to watch TV, like something beyond that, something where you are actively involved and then make it a part of your career. Ikigai is a very nice way to do this. You can search about it online. Then our journey started, and I applied to a lot of institutes. My dad would accompany me. We actually traveled throughout India, lot of places. And in one scene of this story, we are at IIT Kanpur. I am giving my PhD entrance test. In the second row of that hall is one of my teachers who has coached me for GATE exam, and in the last row of that hall, I am giving my exam. None of us gets selected, none of us gets it through, but my next stop was IIT Roper, which I was thinking of skipping because of some time constraints and university exams, etc., as I was a fourth year student back then. But my teacher made it very clear that I should go and give it a go, and that changed my life. So I think that is lesson number two. Do not leave any stone unturned. You don't know what happened. So I, with my dad, we have been to a lot of places: TIFR, Bangalore, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kanpur, Delhi College of Engineering, IIT Roper, and many others, which I probably don't remember. So, anyways, we went to IIT Roper and we arrived there in our roadways bus. Now, some of you might know what the journey is like. So, we were very tired. Now, but that didn't matter that time. So, next day in the morning, we were in the campus of IIT Ropar. Around 90 students were shortlisted for a written test followed by an interview. Now, the test was computerized. It was, I guess, a 1 hour test. There were 30 MCQs. And as I started doing it, I realized that I knew only a few of them, which I completed in probably 25 minutes or 30 minutes max. And the rest of the time, I just stared at other people who were really like into it. Some of them were solving big equations, some of them were doing calculations, big calculations on their calculator. And I was really worried that I knew only this much. When the test ended, we could see our score on the computer, and for me, it was a 13 out of 30. I came out, and my dad asked me, so what happened? I told him I got a 13 out of 30. And he was like, oh, that's not even 50%. You cannot make it. So we are already tired, and let's go. And we actually started thinking about going when something else happened. So this is lesson number three. Um, do not leave early. Just wait and watch what happens. Like you never know your exact position. You might think you are doing good, but actually you are doing bad. Or sometimes you might think you are doing bad when you're actually doing good. So maybe wait for it. There was one guy who was talking to everybody and he was trying to figure out, he was basically working as a data collector, asking everyone how many marks they got. And when we told him that I got a 13 out of 30, he said it was the highest he has heard till that time. So thank God he came in the right time and told us this. So we stayed. Over time, we realized that 13 was indeed the highest marks on that written test, and the second highest was 9. So that gave me a boost of confidence. Anyways, the interviews started, and a typical interview was, I think, 30 minutes long. My interview, it ended in 15 minutes, and according to me, it was a disaster. Like, according to what I think, I couldn't answer most of the questions, especially some of the questions like what was my research area, because I had never researched before. I was a BTech and I had no research exposure. The interview panel didn't know the name of my local institute, didn't know about the books that I have read, some of which were local. So clearly they were not that impressed. And the last question that they asked me towards the end were like, where you had your breakfast? And in that moment, I was like, I just lost it because I'm being asked such trivial and non academic questions. So, anyways, I came back and everyone was like, your interview ended so quickly. And then there was this another guy who first had an interview for 30 minutes. They called him once again and again interviewed him for 45 minutes. And then everyone was like, this guy is in. So that is probably lesson number four. The duration of your interview doesn't matter. Probably if you are getting interviewed for maybe too short or too long, that might be a red flag. We don't know. We can't say anything about it. So we were told that, okay, fine, you can return to your homes. And if you don't hear back from us in like 1 week, that means you are not selected. Well, if you are selected, you'll hear from us in 1 week. And nothing happened for 1 week. And my dad was already like, either they are not going to take anyone, or if they take anyone, it's going to be that one guy who was interviewed for 30 minutes and then 45 minutes later I had a small ray of hope in my mind, which just went away after 1 week. Now, at this time, after 1 week, I was quite discouraged that I couldn't make it to an IIT because that's like the typical middle class Indian dream, especially in that generation. Now, I'm sure the things are changing. Uh, well, I was pretty discouraged, feeling like I haven't made my dad proud, especially after all these long trips. He had fever, and I was like, I couldn't do anything. Anyways, at that time, the best offer I had in my hand was an MTech from Triple IT Delhi, and which was pretty decent again. So I told to one of my friend that I got a MTech in Triple IT Delhi, and his immediate response was, "Oh, what is it? Is it like a fake IIT? IIT with an extra I?" Which sort of discouraged me, and that discouragement came from obviously his ignorance and definitely my lack of knowledge also. Triple ITs are one of the leading institutions in India, and Triple IT Delhi is fantastic. I didn't see it back then and I started feeling bad about it. That day so that's like again lesson number five, right? Either you gain knowledge, don't feel bad about it, have proper information before making an opinion about anyone or anything. I spent a lot of time on the roof that particular day. So this lesson number six, sometimes some time in solitude helps you. I thought hard and hard and hard about everything that happened, and at the end of like 2 hours, where my neighbors were looking at me and they were thinking, she, what, why is she sitting like this? Is she going to do something? And I was just contemplating. After 2 hours, one part of my mind convinced the other part of my mind that it's okay, let's accept it, and uh, we will do perfect hard work being wherever we are. And it doesn't matter in which institution you are, your job is to give it your best, give it your 100%. And that thought gave me a lot of power, gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of peace. And I accepted it. Now, it had been, I think, 1 week past when I accepted it, that I actually got an offer letter from IIT Ropar. So yeah, that is pretty much the end of the story. So maybe the last lesson here is you never know what will happen in life. Also reminds me of a sad story from a news article where one girl was so freaked out about her performance in boards that she committed suicide, only to later find other people found out that she has performed decently well. So do not give up. You do not know what's going to happen in life. And in the life that I have seen, I now believe in miracles. Miracles means not, it's not superstition, but sometimes good things happen, and they are so good things that you cannot, you just couldn't see them coming for you. So there'll be in some of my other stories related to how I got my PhD, how I got married, etc. But yeah, I think we should just hold on. Just like there are bad times in life, there are good times in life. Last lesson I would say is now we have mobiles in our hand. So let's use these mobiles to gain the best knowledge that is out there instead of watching maybe what I say, entertainment videos. Maybe you can watch them for some time, but let's use the devices in a better way. The only reason I did a PhD at a young age, I completed it. I submitted my thesis when I was 25, and the only reason for this is an enormous amount of time my dad spent on internet. He's a doctor, and whenever he was in his clinic and there were no patients around, he would just be busy in exploring opportunities for me. Sometimes I feel probably that should have been me who was exploring for me. I should have been that self sufficient. But that time we had this thing in our home where my dad would say, your job is to study and my job is to find opportunities for you. So we were like a team. Yeah. So, but I think we should just be on a lookout for opportunities and increase our knowledge. And like even today, it has been 13 years that I did my PhD, and even now, this comes as a surprise to many of the people and many of my students that you can do a PhD directly after BTech. So, yeah, learn more about it. There are opportunities in the world, and even for this topic now, you will find a lot of videos on YouTube. So again, let's explore the internet for a better future.